Thank you for joining us today and for your interest in the LiveStream practice growth program that we are developing. My name is Denise Gamez. I work with Atticus, and I am joined by Adjunct Practice Advisors Victor Medina and Mark Metzger. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
So when we talk about the practice growth program, there's a very specific mindset that an attorney needs to have going into the program. Victor, can you speak to that about how they need to really view their law firm as a business and an opportunity for growth?
Yeah, it's interesting, Denise, because when people start to reach out looking for coaching as something that they want to improve their lives, it's really coming from a place of understanding that they could be doing better and they want something better for themselves. And that is one shift that happens. And then, as you alluded to, the next shift that is part of that is really understanding that while their experience and skills as an attorney has brought them this far and may be exemplary in what it is that they do, they've made a critical decision that what they really want to do is treat their practice like a business and then reap all of the benefits that comes from that. So participation in a program like the PGP LiveStream program comes with it sort of this obligation to say, I want to do things better, and I want to be measured by the business skills that I can develop as this next phase of my journey.
Mark, do you have anything to add to that?
I think Victor hit on something important, which is this is not something anybody is ever required to do. It's something that some people choose to do because they choose to have something be different about what they're getting from their practice. For some people, it's they want more time or more freedom, or they just want to feel less stressed about it. And some people just want to see more revenue come from the law firm. But we're not required as lawyers that own law firms and businesses that sell legal services to pursue any of those goals. Some people choose to do that, and the program offers an opportunity for people to pursue any one of those or other goals that they might have for their practice.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of positive feedback on having the live stream version. Obviously, COVID has forced some changes in our society and our culture, so we've had to kind of adapt with that. And there are many advantages, obviously, to this. The big one is travel and cost. So, Mark, do you want to speak to that, like the money savings versus the investment? So you're going to save a lot of money traveling and all of that.
Victor and I have been in group programs together for 9 years or so. And in all of that time, we've probably spent as much in travel each year as we've spent in fees to be in the program. The obvious advantage to doing the live stream format is, from a cost point of view, there is no more travel to be incurred. There's simply the tuition for being a member of the program. And there's hidden savings that come with that as well, because those of us that have done group programs for a while that require travel have long since figured out that going in the night before is a far better way to get us mentally ready for the coaching work that we're going to do for a day and a half together. And that extra time out of the office and the extra expense of travel, hotel, additional meals out of the home and whatever else is also done away with in that context. So I would say that it's, my experience has been pretty much one-to-one. It costs about as much in travel as I pay in tuition, which means that for most people, the live stream is going to end up costing about half as much as an in-person meeting would have.
And Victor, I know you have younger children, and that's always been one of the challenges too. People are like, well, I don't want to leave my kids, or I don't want to leave my entire family, and they have a rehearsal or a recital this weekend. And so speak to that, how you're going to have more family time by doing this virtually.
Yeah, it's an interesting byproduct of having to create this coaching program around being live stream, even a pandemic, because we have to be thinking as facilitators beyond sort of controlling for stay at home and quarantine and those issues. We're really thinking programmatically, how are we going to structure this so that people can engage with it and be successful? And to your question about having more family time or it being more conducive for people who've got younger family members at home, we've structured the program around working in afternoons, in mornings around the calendar that makes it really easy for you to be able to engage with this, but then also be done with it at a normal hour and be home that evening the way that you would have been if you were just working in the office on the practice. And so it's a really nice benefit for us to be able to kind of dovetail what we're doing in coaching with what a normal cadence of kind of working on your practice or in your practice would otherwise be.
And one of the frequently asked questions I get is, Are we seeing anything lost? Because right now we're doing a lot of our in-person programs virtually because of COVID. So are we seeing anything lost in the translation? And I'm saying, no, they're not. I'm getting great feedback. So can you speak to how it's nothing is lost? You're still getting the same great curriculum. You still get amazing coaches like you guys. So really you're not missing anything.
One of the things that we're choosing to do with the live stream is we're going to meet monthly instead of quarterly. Our group programs traditionally have met quarterly for a day and a half. And what we're doing with the live stream is having one half-day meeting every month. So one of the hidden benefits of that approach is theoretically the members should be making more rapid progress because they're going to have a tighter set of things to do for a shorter period of time to come back and report on progress and give us a chance to put them either back on the track or solve what new challenges they've encountered in the process. But they don't need to wait 90 days to make progress. So there's a hidden advantage that comes with doing it in the live stream format. But absolutely, there's nothing going to be lost in the program. I think the truth of the matter is, and I'm interested in Victor's feedback on this, but I think the truth of the matter is, the real heart of these programs lives in the struggle that you have with the material that we present and the challenge it gives you for what you must change in your practice to get the goal you're seeking. It's not at all like a traditional CLE program where it's about knowledge. This is not a knowledge dump by Victor and me at the end of which they'll be master practice builders. Rather, it's about the process of confronting the material and thinking through how does this work for me and what does it mean for how I choose to practice. And it's in that process that their growth happens, not in the knowledge transfer.
And one of the benefits of moving to a live stream program that has a monthly cadence of when it meets is not only are you being laser focused on a more regular basis, which in of itself is a different cadence for how often you're engaging with the struggle of how to improve, but as a momentum builder, if you think about a snowball kind of rolling down the hill, as you get more practice with it, you can accelerate faster through the development that you are, those skills that you're honing by engaging with the coaching. Kind of think of it almost like a gym membership. You could go once every 3 months, lift a lot of heavy weights, and then come back another 3 months. Are you going to gain some health? Sure, you're going to be able to do that. But if you're doing it more regularly, where you're there 3, 4, 5 times a week, and you're exercising on a regular basis, the strides that you can make in your overall health are going to be much greater. And so we see that as a unique benefit of the live stream program, is that by meeting monthly, that what we're able to do is get people much further along in momentum in their development and accelerate that a lot faster than in a group program.
Yeah, it's going to kill off some of that procrastination. Well, I have 90 days to complete this homework or this assignment and this process. So I think that's
a really important point, Denise, because I mean, I know Victor's seen this. I know I have as well. I know our coaches have seen it occasionally, even from us. But you know, the phrase that our coach uses with Victor and me is that when we go back to the office, we go back to the whirlwind at the office. And you know, several years ago, it was not uncommon to have people realize, you know, they're packing to come down to the next coaching session 90 days later. And for the first time in the last 3 months, they're looking over their notes going, wow, I really learned some awesome stuff there. I wish I'd done something with that. Right. Eliminating that opportunity to let the whirlwind own you for 3 months is another part of that momentum building that Victor's describing.
Yeah. So there are some challenges with the program that we present to the attendees and the members. And the numbers we're seeing out of the program that's important to talk about. So the first year we're seeing an increase, or we're challenging you to increase your revenues by 30 to 35%, decreasing your time in the office by 20%, you know, average fee per file up 15%. So do you guys want to talk about those challenges and what it takes to get there? Because sometimes people are like, really, a 30% increase in revenue, or I'm going to get to take weekends off finally, or, you know, so talk to how that process works.
Well, I want to address a couple of things about the numbers and how they're shifting, and then I'll let Mark discuss sort of the structural changes that happen around the time off that makes this a little bit, I mean, part of why we put it in as challenges. So the numbers themselves and how to adjust a fee per file or total overall revenue or what your profitability is going to be, those are all metrics that are going to be driven by being a lot more sophisticated about the way that you engage in your practice. And so if you've made that critical decision to start treating your practice like a business and be judged on your business skills, then one of the byproducts of that is that you're going to look at your engagement with the kinds of cases that you take, the kinds of clients that you take, the services that you render, your pricing around that. You're going to be a lot more critical about those decisions. And it won't be a practice that is a hobby that happens to generate some money, but it'll instead become a business that is designed in order to return a particular profit, a particular fee for case, and give you the kind of enjoyment that you would otherwise expect by improving the kind of clients that you work with and the types of cases that you take.
And Denise, on the subject of time off, Mark Powers and Victor and I discussed the importance of free time for some reasons I'll talk about in just a moment. And we realized we were dealing with really, really smart people. I mean, lawyers are bright to begin with, and the ones that choose to go off on their own often have a different and extra set of skills that causes them to be very successful. And these are people that were trying to strive for more or trying to solve some of the problems and challenges that they face in their law firm. And when we phrased the challenge of time off to be 20% more time off, that caused some of these very clever people to say, well, 20% of zero is still zero. So I'm good. I don't need to take any time off. I just need to work harder. One of the things we want people to take from this is that there is more to making your law practice successful, sustainable, and growing than you putting all of your own time into it, that there are better, smarter ways to build and grow your law firm. And there are two reasons that we want them to take time off. One is we want the mental health benefits that come with that. It's just simply good to relax every once in a while. It's good for your brain. And your brain, if it's relaxed, will start to develop the creativity that becomes rocket fuel to help your law firm grow. So we want them to get that. But the other reason we want them to take time off is a little more subtle. When they're present in their office all day, every day, they can see the tiniest little things starting to go wrong in the law firm. And then through the sheer force and will of their own time and effort, by literally becoming the hero in their law firm, they step in and they solve that problem. It may take them 4 hours, but by God, they head it off and it's gone, and the problem was stopped through the sheer force and will of their effort. If we take them out of the practice from time to time, some of those problems will be allowed to surface in a more substantial way, not in a firm destroying way, but in a more substantial way that allows them to more effectively address that problem systematically so that it never comes up again, instead of always relying on the lawyer to be present to solve that problem. So that gives their practice a chance to talk back to them, to show them what time or attention or effort or system or process or procedure they need to develop so that they never need to solve that problem again.
Now, you guys were an integral part of developing the live stream version of this program. Is there anything that I didn't bring up that would be important for someone considering the program to think about or to know?
One of the things I wanted to share about why this program is important for people to consider is we've focused some of our discussion in championing its benefits around revenue and the way that you're going to be improving your practice and all the things that are going to change about the types of clients that you take and the types of the matters that you work on and all of the good benefits that come from that. And that's really a way for you to rationalize making an investment in coaching and deciding to engage and play full out with the coaching principles. At the same time, I don't want to lose sight that our overall goal for Mark and I both as facilitators is to see you improve your life and lead a great life, one that you've designed, one that is deliberate, that is one that you're choosing as opposed to being dictated to you. So we're going to give you all of these block and tackle strategies that are going to improve your practice. You're going to have a better law firm because of the coaching principles if you implement them. a happy byproduct of that is going to be that you're going to have a better life out of that. The people around you are going to be happier with you based on the fact that you're improving all of these areas in your practice. And that's really our overall goal. At the end of the day, it wouldn't matter as much if we were coaching lawyers, accountants, or dentists, because what we're really trying to do is get people to live a life by design, and one that serves them and rewards them in those ways, as well as having great numbers at the end of the year.
You know, Denise, I think Victor and I have known each other like 12 or 13 years at this point. And it's group coaching programs that built that relationship to the point that we are the best of friends. And there's a handful of people that we've been on the journey with for almost that full time. And that's a very close-knit group of people. So that's another benefit that comes from this as well. From time to time, we've all had the opportunity to refer work to each other, but more important, when you're the owner of a business, the number of people available to you to talk about that business gets smaller and smaller the more successful you get. You can't talk to the people that you employ about some of the challenges that you face as a business owner, but you can pick up the phone and talk to your friends and get support.
All right, well, I think we've covered just about everything with some really great information. I really appreciate you guys joining us. And if you join this first group of the live stream, Victor and Mark will be your coaches, so you've got to meet them sort of. But thanks again for joining us, and I guess that's it. Have a great day.
Thanks, Denise.
Thanks, Denise.